April 11th, 2024. It is 7:01 p.m. We will start with roll call. And we will start with Council President Camera.
Here.
Councilperson Passion. Here. Councilperson Gray.
Here.
Councilperson Martin.
Here.
Councilperson McNamara.
Present.
And Councilperson Coss. Present. All right, and now we have pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we will move to work session. Let's start this all over again. All right, do we have a motion to approve the March 28th, 2024 work session minutes?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And any abstentions?
I abstain due to my absence.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the March? Do we have on the same day?
Yes.
All right.
We had a
All
work
right.
session the work session with Mike.
Okay. Motion to approve the March 28th, 2024 council meeting minutes.
She had to be one. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions?
I abstain.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the April 4th, 2024 work session minutes?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions?
I abstain, but I'm going to be here for the rest of things going forward.
Perfect. All right, next we will move to the village official reports, and we will start with Chief Matt Delp for police.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have anything to add at this time.
Does anybody have any questions for Chief? All right, we will then move to our fiscal officer, Mr. Jeffrey Wilczek.
Thank you, Mayor. I did send out the financial report the other day to everybody. That carries things through the end of March. We did get the final settlement from Rita on the income tax for April, and I'm happy to report that we are now up 15,000 over last year at this time. We started the year off down 25,000, so I'm still very cautious on where we stand with the income tax and how it's going to come out. Once all the final returns that are due April 15th are processed, which will show up in the June 1st advance that we'll get, so I'll get a little bit better feeling for where the income tax stands. We also received our property tax settlement earlier this month. That's looking good. We're a little bit ahead on that one, but again, I'm not sure what's happening there, and I had a chat with the county auditor's office. It could be that the delinquencies are decreasing because they've been paid up, and that's part of the reason we're a little bit ahead. We'll know more when we get the final settlement for the second half in late August. So that's all I have to say.
All right. Does anybody have any questions? And our legal counsel, Jesse Shamp, is absent tonight. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to myself, and I will get any answers that you need. Next, we will move to Mr. Eric Fisher, village planner.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. As I mentioned at the work session last week, we had thought we'd be starting on the amphitheater final construction this week, but weather has said other things, so perhaps next week that's what we'll get going on there. So, I'll take any questions. Thanks very much.
Any questions? All right, next we will move, John Canty's report should be in the packet. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Mr. Canty. Next we will move to Mr. Tommy Grant for Planning and Zoning. Councilperson Grant.
Planning and Zoning is meeting next Wednesday, April 17th at 7 p.m. It's a work session. We're going to talk about some of the things that we've been discussing about bat houses and other items.
Can't wait. Bat houses.
No rabies, but otherwise, thank you.
All right, does anybody have any questions for planning and zoning? Okay. Next, we will move to Mr. Council President Camera, MPCA.
Yes, thank you. So MPCA had their monthly meeting last night. The topics discussed, they're still talking through the MPCA Facebook page and what changes they'd like to make through that. And they hope to have a solution or a resolution here soon. They have posted one of the Pride events. This is a 16 plus, you have to be 16 years or older to attend this event. It is a cookie decorating class with a drag queen here in Columbus. Plenty of Smiles is her name. It will be hosted here at the community building and it's $50 a person. The Spring Fling is this Saturday. This is the first time in a long time that they have actually sold out for a children's event. So they have 60 kids registered for this event, and they're looking just for a few more volunteers for that, and that's this Saturday. Arts in the Park, that booth registration went on sale on the 3rd. They currently have 13 different vendors signed up, or people that will be having tents at the site. And then that takes place on June 2nd. It's going to be from 2 to 6, and it is around the community building. Some things in the building and some things outside. Sip and dips are planned. Those are all on their site. They're also on the pool website, so people can see when those are available. They're working on some beer permits for some things. They created a subcommittee for Minerva Park Historical Society. And I believe Councilperson Passion is going to be a part of that. So kind of a joint effort in preserving some of the history of the village and how we display it here in the community building. They're going to feature Miss Paul, I believe was her name, down the street. She's celebrating her birthday. And they're going to feature her for Meet Your Neighbor in the next council meeting. The next villager that goes out. And then they'll be attending the NCC Award Banquet this coming weekend. And then it looks like Minerva Flower is going to have a booth at the art festival. They're going to use that to raise money for Minerva Flora for different things that they'd like to do. And then the garden tour is scheduled for June 30th from 1 to 5 p.m. And that's all I have for MPCA.
Perfect. Does anybody have any questions? All right. Next, we will move to Councilperson Grant for Finance.
Finance Committee is meeting Monday. It's May 1st. I think it's a Wednesday. 2024, 5 p.m. this building. Feel free to attend. I'll be there.
Can't wait. All right. Next, we have Streets. Councilperson Koss.
So as we discussed on the planning meeting, basically Jordan Road is coming to a close. We're just waiting on some final work on that. I met with some residents. And then due to the recent flooding, we talked about adding some additional areas to see if they need to be scoped, cleaned, whatever you want to call it. So we're in contact with Mike Flickinger about that. Next meeting, that's difficult, but we will coordinate. Once we have a little bit more information, I feel like streets can communicate a lot over email and then kind of go from there. So I don't have the next end of meeting, but yeah, probably after we complete the tournament. Questions, comments, concerns? Anybody else? Anything to add? Okay, Maplewood, we were talking about that too. Mike Flickinger's report, add that in there, I guess.
Yes.
And Hugh, Mayor Sutton.
Okay, so I'm going to do my Flickinger's report with Stacy's report since it's all about streets and all that good stuff. The 2022 Storm Sewer Improvement Project, Stacy and Mike Flickinger met with some residents out there to talk about the final grading. That should be done here as we quit raining. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll start seeing some grass and all that good stuff. So hopefully that project will be done sooner rather than later. The 2023 roadway improvement project, that is the Maplewood Drive that she just mentioned. That project is, as of today, out to bid. So we expect those to be open on May 3rd. That will be done here, usually at noon. I probably shouldn't say that because I haven't actually seen it, but that's typically what happens. So that project then will get brought to you guys. So that is completely underway. The lake improvement design, they completed their draft and submitted that information to us on April 4th, so a lot of the stuff is in our hands right now. They will finalize their report based on some of the comments that we get back to them, and then as well as submitting some stuff to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So again, I'm still moving forward, but nothing concrete yet. The 2024 CCTV is going to be moving forward. At this point in time, we will be using VisiSewer. We did read a document last week that was on the agenda. We've actually removed that because this is something that actually does not need to be passed by council. And we have already made a change to it, so we'll repeat this again as we get to legislation. But we will be moving forward with VisiSewer. Again, we are adding the Park Lane area to get that televised and cleaned, because cleaning is going to be something that area apparently needs more than usual. So we're moving forward on that. The storm sewer improvements have been put on pause for right now for 2024 due to funding. So we'll have some updates on that later. That's being moved to 2025 at this point. And all of Mike's report is in the packet and is online. And that's everything for streets and then some.
I don't know why I do report. Mike's is like so much more. It's just, I'll do an overview and then it's like, okay, here are all the details.
Yeah, here's the 9 projects that we're working on.
Because I'm an engineer. So I should just read his report.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I should point out a couple of these projects, we are working with our grant writer, and we will continue to work with him for several of these projects, so we aren't told that we can't move forward because we don't have any money. So we're working on some grants. So we'll see how all that comes out. So next we have services. Councilperson Martin.
I am working on some leaf bids. Well,
Awesome. All right. And next we have Council President Camera for Recreation and Parks.
All right, so I'm gonna plug the pool. Like we can still, you can still sign up for memberships.
We have a pool?
Yes, we have a wonderful pool. So please take a look at minervapools.org if you'd like to sign up. You can start renting the pool after our rentals, and that's for members only. And birthday parties right now is rental for members only, but we're working on getting that on the site as a way to for non-members to rent the pool too for parties, for birthday parties during regular pool hours. And then my next meeting is next Thursday. We have a pool subcommittee meeting at 6 o'clock. This is to talk about replacing our current pool and buildings out there. We have given our engineers a budget and have talked them through some possibilities, and they're coming back to meet with us next Thursday at the 6 o'clock meeting, and then I will have a 7 o'clock meeting right after that for recreation and parks. That's all I have for tonight.
MinervaParkPool.org.
MinervaParkPool.org.
All the cool kids are there.
Yeah. We already have our memberships.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Almost everyone at this table has one.
Almost?
Almost.
Isn't that protected?
I do.
I know somebody's gonna get called out. That's not nice.
It's Tiffany.
No. I've
never seen her.
Never. I don't get it. Oh. All right, let's move on to safety with Councilperson Passion.
There are no current safety issues or concerns in front of council. If anyone has anything that you need to let us know about, please email me, and I'll be happy to reach out to you and get more information.
Yay. All right, and next we will move to Councilperson McNamara for legislation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council community. We have a legislation committee meeting on April 25th at 6:30 p.m. before the second meeting of the month. So be there or be square.
Yay. Okay. My report. I'm just gonna remind people that the radar sign is now up and running and all of that good stuff on Minerva Lake Road. We are interviewing for pool staff, so if you know someone that would like to work in the concession stand or you have any lifeguards that are interested, if you want to work in the concession stand, reach out to me. If you want to be a lifeguard, reach out to our pool manager, which is John, or reach out to me and I will get you to John. And then this is probably the first plug for this, so if I mess it up, Barb's going to let me know. So on September 10th, that will be our first responders night. This will be our second first responders night. We will not be doing the typical, what is it called?
National Night Out.
National Night Out. So we're having our own first responders night, September 10th. I do not even know the times yet, so do you know?
5:30 to 7:30?
5:30 to 7:30. They have already started putting together trucks and all kinds of goodies. But our clerk of courts, I should say, our girl of everything, Leah has been working on this. This is her favorite thing the entire year, so she will be working on this for the next several months. Barb will also be working on it with her, and they've already gotten so much fun stuff ready to go. So super excited. September 10th. Mark your calendars now, and you will probably hear me say this however many months between now and then. I will say it every single meeting probably. So, September 10th.
Where's this gonna be?
It's actually going to be over at the middle school. Making sure I'm right, but yes, definitely the middle school. And that is all I have. So, citizen comments. Do we have anybody that would like to speak to council?
Just a reminder, so you get 3 minutes. You'll start when you say your name and address. We have a maximum time for citizen comments of 30 minutes. At the discretion of the mayor or presiding chair, there can be discussion surrounding the topic. However, realizing that the council meeting is an orderly business meeting, the discussion should always directly pertain to the business at hand. So, in other words, citizen comments are not question and answer time. You can ask council questions, but we may or may not respond during citizen comments.
Perfect, thank you. And let's start with David Roscoe.
I'm David Roscoe. I'm a resident, live on Maplewood Drive, 2857 Maplewood Drive. I'm coming late to the party here, I think, but about 2 weeks ago I was out walking and I noticed your financial officer, Jeff Rivers, and an engineer and another EPA gal was over there on this reserve spot. I live 2 houses from Jenna and Mike's place. And I discovered then that there's the council in the village considering putting a maintenance building down in that section. So I'm basically here to try to find some information. You can direct me to someone or somebody, plans that shows what's going in there, because we were never notified of anything that's happening down there. I've learned some information from my neighbor, but I would like to see the plans, and I've been in the village 54 years. Once upon a time, I was the chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission. And it's surprised me coming out of the blue. And so I'd like to find out, maybe somebody can direct me where I can find a copy of the plan. Has the village rezoned that property? That's a reserve. And is it's zoned residential, I understand, or it's a reserve, of course. And have we gone through that process of inviting all the neighbors to review that and to get their input on what's going to happen down there? I understand this is a fairly large building. It's going to house all kind of maintenance equipment. A commercial building in the middle of a residential section. So basically, I'd like to find out, and you can direct me how I can find some information about that. Is there a plan there already? Has there been engineering drawings, the plot laid out, and all of that? Does anybody have any information you can direct me to?
This isn't a back and forth. These are for citizen comments
Okay.
at this point in time.
Well, certainly somebody can tell me where I can go look.
Well, why don't we talk to you after the meeting, and we can discuss a little more with you at that time.
Okay, well, can you give me a hint of what's going on?
Busick.
Dick Busick, 2824 Maplewood Drive, resident for 58 years in the village. Most of you don't know, probably the mayor does, that I volunteered my time for over 25 years to be Northland Community Council's zoning rep, and I've probably done 1,500 presentations to Columbus City Council trying to make Northland a better place for Minerva Park. So I'm very familiar with land use, and this land use disturbs me. If you were trying to zone this in the city of Columbus, because of the outside storage, the possible repair nature in the building, this would be a light manufacturing zoning, M1 or M2 in the city of Columbus. Don't know what it is here. Whenever property uses are changed, I don't know of any zoning code that doesn't require notification of the residents. I know from your view you think that this has not been a secret, but from the residents, this was a shock, okay? There's been no formal discussion with the neighbors to get any input. There's been no notification, which I think our code requires, to change a zoning. This is a reserve, so it's not zoned properly now for the use that you're proposing. I would hope that you would follow your own procedures and allow some time for the residents to get their input into this zoning. I think it was an improvement to move it back, but that's going to involve a lot more expense for everybody, and that includes trees and the utilities. Dave and I were talking about it as we came over tonight, and both of us had the same thought, and maybe you haven't addressed it and found a reason not to, but if you could work out something with the city, with the Westerville Board of Education, if you put the building down adjacent to the pool on the east side, and then properly screened it to protect the one house that would be impacted, you'd have a much more economical situation and a much happier neighborhood. So I hope you will follow your own processes and go through the notification. You've never received any notice of a zoning change, have you? My guess is you can't produce any records that show that there have been notification of any of the neighbors.
Mr. Busick, your time is up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, address, Mayor.
Yeah, you can.
So for the purposes of the public to understand, the village is not required under state law to change zoning for their own uses. We do not have to change zoning. We can use any zoning within our jurisdictions and build whatever the village council deems appropriate. So it does not matter. That's it. Thank you.
And just, this has been an ongoing conversation for over 2 years. We have discussed the pool for over 2 years. We only have 2 locations, which is the pool location and the location that we are discussing. This has been an ongoing, and again, legislation was actually passed in 2023, January of 2023, to build this building. This is not new. And that's really all I'm going to say about that as well.
There's a lot of information on the website, so.
And we can add some of the
absolutely do the drawings and everything else like that. You know, we're not trying, can I just say something? Nobody's trying to hide things. We're trying to be transparent. I'm sorry you guys didn't get word of this, but we were talking about it for 2 years. Don't think that we didn't explore every possible option. We didn't talk about additional land, what other options we have available to have a lesser impact on the neighbors. This wasn't just like, let's just slap it in there and who cares about the neighbors. I'm your neighbor. All of us are your neighbors. Like, we've thought about the impact on our community. We've thought about making it that doesn't impact the neighbors as much. We've had these conversations, they are on record when we've planned these things. I've asked all of these questions, so please don't think that we just don't care and we're just slapping it on there because whatever. This is not a whatever decision. Basically, what it comes down to, and unfortunately I have to do this a lot and, during my day job too, we only have wrong answers and you have to pick one of those wrong answers. And somebody's gonna be unhappy about it. And, we expect that, but don't think that we're this bad guy sitting up here thinking like, whatever. It's not whatever. It was a decision that we made together. We've explored all of these options. And that location was what we came up with. And pushing it back, I think, was important. And we don't want it to impact everybody. Is everybody going to be pleased with that? No, that's not how life works, unfortunately. But there is a lot of information on the website, and everything is public record.
Sorry, you don't get another chance.
Sorry.
No.
So much for input. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. So.
All right, so thank you for responding. Let's move to legislation.
All right, moving to legislation. Bear with me, this is the first time seeing this new format, so.
Now you know why I skipped things on here. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't do that.
All right, so it looks like, if I'm reading this correctly, Madam Mayor, we are going to do our second reading of ordinance 07-2024 and then suspend the rules, or?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. We are going to ordinance 07-2024, an ordinance amending Part 16 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Minerva Park and amending the zoning map for the village and declaring an emergency. This is a second reading with intent to suspend the rules that require 3 readings and pass as an emergency. So in that, I move for suspension of the rules requiring 3 readings for ordinance 07-2024.
Second.
With the motion being seconded, is there any discussion? All right. With the rules, oh wait, we need to do a roll call.
All right, Councilperson Gray.
Aye.
Councilperson Cost.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
And Councilperson McNamara.
Aye. All right. With the rules requiring 3 readings suspended, I move for passage of an emergency nature for ordinance 07-2024.
Second into referendum.
The motion is seconded. Is there any discussion?
Just for the record, this is the one that is our fire code, right?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
In order to allow
Yes.
Columbus to
Yeah.
continue servicing us, they wanted to make sure that we had this passed.
So we're doing this because the city of Columbus, who is our fire protection agency that we have contract with for the village, has adopted a new code. And in order for us to be compliant with the new code, we have to adopt this and put it in our code. So.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was sadly absent for the last work session when we discussed these things. So I like to give the typical explanations. No, my apologies. All right, Madam Mayor, let's call the roll.
All right, Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Councilperson Passion.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Council President Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Cost.
Aye.
Councilperson Gray.
Aye.
All right. We move to ordinance 08-2024, an ordinance amending sections 204.04 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Minerva Park. And this is just a second reading. As I do not have the code memorized, what exactly is this for the folks listening at home again?
This is changing the logo.
Ah, that one. All right. All right. We now move to ordinance 09-2024, an ordinance granting a 25-year franchise to AEP Ohio, its successors and assigns for the right to acquire, construct, maintain, and operate in the streets, thoroughfares, alleys, bridges, and public places of the Village of Minerva Park, State of Ohio, and its successors, lines for the transmission and distribution of electric energy to the Village of Minerva Park and the inhabitants thereof for light, heat, power, and other purposes, and for the transmission and distribution of the same within, through, or across said village of Minerva Park within the state of Ohio. And this is just a first reading. We now move to ordinance 10-2024 and ordinance to adopt chapter 810.10 to be codified ordinances of the village of Minerva Park, Ohio. Again, this is a first reading, and for the folks listening at home, what is this one?
This is about Airbnb and short-term rentals
Okay.
in the village.
Well, I forget exactly who came up with it first, but miss a day, miss a lot. So again, my apologies. Let's see, moving to resolution 2024-09, a resolution authorizing the purchase of employee dishonesty and faithful performance of duty policy and applying that policy to the village fiscal officer and assistant fiscal officer. This is a second reading. Lastly, we move to resolution 2024-11. This is a resolution to amend the rules of council and calendar as was approved in resolution 2024-01 and to declare an emergency. So this is the first reading with the intent to pass as an emergency. So, on that basis, I move to,
No,
There's no movement. No movement, just the first reading.
oh yeah, cool. All right, yeah, just the first reading. And that concludes our legislation for this evening.
Perfect. All right, do we have any old business? New business?